All right, everybody, welcome to This Day in History. My name is Scott, the host of The Scott Show, as you can find it at thescottshow.com. Please check us out there. Really awesome website. Today is January 8th. It's the 8th day on the calendar. 357 days left until the end of the year. So if this year is so far 8 days in, not your year so far, 2019 will be your year. Big time thumbs up to you guys. Alright, so we move on and we're going to go to the events. Now, a lot of these times I do it cold. So I'm reading this for the first time. I'm seeing this for the first time. And I'm going to probably just give my thoughts and feelings on it. Because that's what I'm going to do. In 1297, this guy named Francois Grimaldi, he was disguised as a monk. He led his men to capture the fortress, protecting the Rock of Monaco, establishing his family as the rulers of Monaco. Of course, we ended up later on, I think, with Grace Kelly being the Princess of Monaco, who was a great actress from America, and then she ended up marrying Prince. In 1454, the Papal Bull, which is like a papal... it's from the Pope. It's like an executive order. Romanus Pontiff... Yeah, let's go with that. Awards the Kingdom of Portugal exclusive trade and colonization rights to all of Africa south of Cape Bojor. Alright, Bojor. And let's see where Cape Bojor is to see how much colonization rights they actually gave. Oh my gosh. That's in like Monaco. So Portugal had pretty much all of Africa. That's crazy business. Alright. 1499, Louis XII of France marries Anne of Brittany in concordance with the law set by his predecessor Charles VIII. In 1547, the first Lithuanian language book, Simple Words and Catechism, is published in Königsberg. In 1735, a premiere performance of Handel's Arodante at the Royal Opera House in Covent Garden. In 1746, the Second Jacobite Rising, Bonnie Prince Charlie, that sounds like military words for whatever, but it occupies Stirling. In 1790, George Washington delivers his first State of the Union address in New York City. I'm telling you, folks, I can't wait for Trump. So I think that's going to be just great. If they're just going to rip it apart, and Saturday Night Live is going to have so much fun with it, it's going to be very interesting. In 1806, Cape Colony becomes a British colony. In 1811, an unsuccessful slave revolt is led by Charles de Lons in St. Charles and St. James, Louisiana. In 1815, the Battle of 1812, the Battle of New Orleans, Andrew Jackson, who ended up being a president of the United States on the $20 bill also, leads American forces in victory over the British. In 1828, the Democratic Party is organized. In 1835, the United States national debt is zero for the only time ever. Only time ever the United States national debt is at zero, and I believe the president was actually Andrew Jackson at the time. So, there you go, folks. Alright, 1863, the Second Battle of Springfield happened in the American Civil War. In 1867, African American men are granted the right to vote in Washington, D.C. In 1877, Crazy Horse and his warriors fought their last battle against the United States Cavalry at Wolf Mountain in the Montana Territory. In 1904, the Blackstone Library is dedicated, marking the beginning of the Chicago Public Library system. In 1912, the African National Congress is founded. In 1918, Woodrow Wilson announces his 14 points for the aftermath of World War I. In 1920, the steel strike of 1919 ends in a complete failure for the Acclimated Association of Iron, Steel, and Tin Workers Labor Union. In 1940, we'll jump ahead to 1940. World War II, Britain introduces rationing of food. That's where you had those stamps and all this other stuff. 1945, World War II, Philippine Commonwealth troops under the Philippine Commonwealth Army units entered the province of Ilos Sur in northern Luzon, and attacked Japanese imperial forces. Alright, and then in 1957, Operation Luca, 5 United States missionaries are killed by the Huanani of Ecuador shortly after making contact with them. Okay. 1961, a referendum supports Charles de Gaulle's policies in Algeria. In 1963, Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa is exhibited in the United States for the first time at the National Gallery of Art. In 1964, President Lyndon B. Johnson declares a war on poverty in the United States. Kind of crazy that we, of course, what we do here with the 102550 Homeless Project, they could have done a long time ago and just fixed everything. But nope. Alright. 1963, Soviet space mission Luna 21 is launched. And then 1979, Password Plus debuts on NBC. 1982, the breakup of the Bell system. AT&T agrees to divest itself from 22 subdivisions. And in 2002, we'll jump 20 years ahead of time. President George Bush signs into law the No Child Left Behind Act. In 2004, the MRS Queen Mary II, the largest ocean liner ever built, is christened by her namesake's granddaughter, Queen Elizabeth II. Now, I do believe that the MRS also has the ocean liner, the QE2, which is the Queen Elizabeth boat. I'll look that up for next time. We'll talk about that at a different time. The nuclear sub USS San Francisco collides at full speed with an undersea mountain south of Guam. 1 man is killed, but the sub surfaces and is repaired. In 2010, gunmen from an offshoot of the Front of the Liberation of the Enclave of Canberra attack a bus carrying the Togo national football team on its way to the 2010 Africa Cup of Nations, and an attempted assassination of Arizona Representative Gabrielle Giffords, and the shooting happened in 2011, this day in history. So we go to a few births going on today. It is a big-time birth today, as Elvis was born this day in history. So there you go. It's Elvis's birthday today. It's also Chris Masters' birthday, famous wrestler. Kim Jong-un's birthday today. So good for him. Hopefully he gets a cake. I'll be surprised if they can get enough sugar in there. Whatever works. Jason Giambi's birthday today. It's R. Kelly's birthday today. I did not know he was a former professional basketball player. But that, you learn stuff every day, I guess. It's Rey Mysterio Sr.'s today. Betsy DeVos, who's the 11th Secretary of Education. It's her birthday today. John Podesta's birthday today. David Bowie, It's his birthday today. Wish he was still with us. It's Stephen Hawking's birthday today. Graham Chapman. It's also his birthday. Bob Eubanks. Alexandra Ribley. Charles Osgood celebrates his birthday today. Soupy Sales. I always heard really funny things about Soupy Sales, so that's a cool birthday there. So, folks, we do this day in history. We talk about all the cool birthdays going on, all the wonderful people who have changed the course of our history just by being alive. So we celebrate their births. And reminder, folks, it's Elvis's birthday. There you go. All right. And deaths that happened this day in history. Pope Clementine III. Yeah, I probably just totally slaughtered that name. Edgar, the King of Scotland, also died on this day in 1107. Galileo died this day in history, 1642. Eli Whitney died this day in 1825. I did look through this a little bit ahead of time, kind of give me a little insight. Jim Elliot died this day in history, 1956. Sarah Carter died 1979. Amazing harp player. If you guys ever get a chance to see what she got to do, amazing stuff. Ron Goodwin, he died in 2003. Dave Thomas died in 2002. The founder of Wendy's, and he keeps talking. When he was alive, he talked about being adopted. So that's super important to make sure everybody's loved. It is Commonwealth Day in the Northern Mariana Islands. It is the earliest day in which Children's Day can fall in Thailand, and it is Lee Jackson Day. And that's the earliest day Lee Jackson Day can fall. It's celebrated on Friday before Martin Luther King Day. So there you go. So if it ever lands on a Friday, it's the earliest day it can be done. And this day is celebrated by the Commonwealth of Virginia for the birthdays of Robert E. Lee and Thomas Stonewall Jackson. I'm sure there will be some complaints. All right. And, guys, this is This Day in History. Thank you guys so much for listening to The Scott Show. Check us out at thescottshow.com.